Welcome to our sustainability speaker series. You are one of our first guests. I'm here with Maureen Highland from the Petaluma Educational Foundation. So we're just going to jump right into the questions that we have, starting with number one. And again, just tell us about yourself and your organization and what it is that you do.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. And we're just thrilled to be creating this partnership with the team at Simply Solar. We're honored and proud to be able to promote their involvement in our community, as well as the support they're providing to our students. So as Ashton mentioned, my name is Maureen Highland. I am the executive director of the Petaluma Educational Foundation. PEF, as we're known locally, started in 1982. It was started by a group of individuals here in the community that started to see some of the programs in the schools go by the wayside in terms of the reaction to the budget cuts from Prop 13. And so it was music, arts, sports, activities, things like that were being funded less and less. So they came together. They created a foundation, and what is unique about us, we haven't found one anywhere else. We're always looking, that serves public, private, and charter at all grade levels across all our districts. So Petaluma has multiple districts. We have about 5 that have multiple campuses within their district, and then many that are single campus districts. So for us, 13,000 students a year benefit from the programs that our donors and our business partners and our community members fund. So we're very, very proud of that. Our programs include a grant program that gives to the schools that will support curriculum-based learning programs. And then we also have a scholarship program, which Simply Solar has joined us with this year, that we award scholarships to graduating seniors from any of the 7 high schools in the Petaluma area. And that is the comprehensive, private, and also alternative schools that we have.
Awesome. Yes, at Simply Solar, we are extremely excited to be working with PEF. It's a very close organization to a lot of the people that work for our company, and we were excited to be able to get creative with the way that we could distribute our scholarship through you guys. So we can't wait to see where it goes and see how it impacts the students in our local communities. So moving into our sustainability portion of our questions, we'll start with, what does sustainability mean to PEF?
Well, for us, it might be a little different than your industry would typically suspect. For us, the sustainability program is our students. They are our future. They are the ones that are going to carry us through to the next generation. And so for us, it's about sustaining the opportunities that allow them to follow their academic dreams and to be introduced and engaged with new and innovative programs that might set them on a different path in which they can contribute as a workforce in the future. So for us, the bottom line, students are what will sustain us as we go forward.
I love that. And I love that you touched on that sustainability might look a little different for your organization than others. I think that we get into a very siloed mindset sometimes when we think about the topic. And that's why we really want to shed light on different organizations that it does mean something different to, especially when we're talking about the youth and the future of our communities. So what innovations has your company implemented over the years to keep up with, that there's an increasing demand with sustainable business practices? So has there been any innovations that you guys have adopted as a company?
Well, education's constantly changing, and the needs are becoming more and more great as we find, things are kind of throwing us for a curve at the moment with distance learning and things like that. So it was a very quick thing to be able to adapt. So over the years, the foundation has been able to adapt by increasing how we award our grants. They started out years ago at the $250 level, $500 level. About 9 years ago, it was an innovative process to really strategically plan to change the curriculum in a school to be able to support their students. So we were able to award grants up to $15,000 now. And we are so proud of the work that's done because it totally transforms a campus at times, on whether they're introducing a maker space or a computer lab years ago, which are now turning into, STEM environments. We have outdoor classrooms, which used to be considered gardens, which are now multifaceted learning environments. So for us, that has been a huge step. I will say in the past year, due to COVID, we did adapt again. We did reduce our grant funding to $5,000 per grant, but we did that with the goal to enable every one of our 38 schools to apply and receive funding. It is a competitive process annually, so we aren't able to fund every grant that comes across to us. But this year we really wanted to make it equitable and make it wide reaching so that every school had the support they needed for either technology needs, which was connectivity or equipment, or for social emotional learning programs, which became more and more prominent as a need across all grade levels as we kind of stayed in the situation we're in with SIP and distance learning.
Well, I can only imagine the impact that that made on not only the students, but the educators as well, having that support from you guys, especially in the trying times of this past year with COVID. Um, any examples of efforts you are making to partner with vendors to promote sustainability?
Absolutely. So we at PEF have 3 annual partners currently. It's a program we launched on our 30th anniversary. We are going into our 39th year as being a foundation. In celebration of 30 years and partnering with the community, both individuals, organizations, and businesses, we had a program that we designed around what businesses were looking for as a way to contribute back, but have some accountability also of how they applied their dollars in the community. And then also for us to be able to do the most good with our students in our schools. So the annual partnership program currently has Clover Sonoma, Petaluma Market, and Petaluma Healthcare District as our annual partners. So for the 12 months of the year, we highlight their activities and their support and their work in the community. This year, I can tell you that Petaluma Market has, done so much in terms of addressing the COVID and creating special shopping hours and things like that for
Yeah,
the seniors and all that. The healthcare district, again, they are creating a healthy community, and they're doing it in a variety of ways, not just medically, but emotionally, physically, and with education on nutrition and healthy lifestyle. And then of course, Clover Sonoma is a B Corp. And that is something that is becoming more and more prominent, and we're looking more and more into as nonprofits, because they are organizations who have self-identified that want to be sustainable and be responsible stewards of our communities and our businesses and our lands. So we're very proud to have Clover Sonoma be a B Corp and also choose to partner with PEF in that way.
oh, absolutely. It's so refreshing and wonderful to hear about organizations in our community that are giving back and getting involved in this way to make a big impact and a big difference. Makes me proud that our organization is located in Petaluma. Um, how do you best encourage your employees or your volunteers or anyone that's involved with your organization for that matter to achieve their own sustainability goals, whether that be through your partnerships or beyond?
Sure. Well, in addition to running PEF and our programs, which are, we've talked about, we also have the
Mhm.
Alphabet Soup Benefit thrift stores in downtown. There are 2 locations. It's a home goods store and home decor, and then also a clothing store. And for us, that is the ultimate of reuse, recycle, and repurpose. So we are
Yeah.
available to serve the community in a variety of ways through the stores. And so for us, that's sustainability and making sure that we can provide clients who need that price point, that it's available to them, as well as an opportunity for donors who are looking to pass along their items in a way that can be reused by others. So it's kind of a win-win in terms of our donors and our shoppers, but then for our volunteers, it really is an incredible family down there of people who are passionate about what we do. They raise monies to support the mission of PEF, and they all are working towards that through reuse, recycle, and repurpose the donated items that come through the door.
That's amazing. That's wonderful to hear, and a tangible, a much different effort than what you do through your scholarships and your students, and kind of, I would imagine, a wider reach through the community as well,
Yeah,
outside of the education system.
yeah.
Um, where do you see challenges in the industry when it comes to individual or corporate sustainability?
I think it comes with education, ironically. It's just about making sure that we provide those opportunities to really inform our students, our families, our communities about opportunities. So everyone can choose their own path to sustainability and how they want to apply it in their own life. And schools are the same. Campuses you're seeing installing solar over parking lots. As I said, outdoor learning classrooms that are engaging more in the STEAM and translating it into outdoor learning. So I think it really is a personal journey people have to take, but it's a great opportunity for us as an organization to support the programs that allow students and schools to incorporate it into their curriculum.
Oh, that's great. Um, and then with that, in that same vein, what potential opportunities could you see emerging from, these challenges in the future?
Well, I think as we touched on in the beginning, the jobs of tomorrow, we might not know what those are today. And our students are in school currently and learning different kind of skill sets and following different workforce paths. So for us, it's about making sure they have every opportunity to develop and understand what they are possible in terms of what they can accomplish, and then how the support they have to do so. So I think for us, the biggest opportunity is keeping an innovative mindset and finding funding sources that allow us to bring that again into the school and into the curriculum, so that the doors are always open wide for the kids.
We are huge advocates for education, and we pride ourselves as a company on being educators in our industry, but in all industries, because I think renewable energy, sustainability, these are topics that are kind of at the forefront of conversation right now. So hearing that innovation and hearing those ideas around how we can impact our future, because the students are the ones that are going to tackle the workforce, right, and take on these new career paths. So that's a huge attraction for us of being involved with PEF in a great organization like yours, is because you're empowering those students in any way that we can continue to educate. We absolutely want to. Um, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but how has COVID-19 impacted the way you approach your sustainability efforts? You mentioned distance learning and getting involved with things like that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Sure. I think everybody has had to adapt in one way or another. But for us as an organization, early on, we really kind of wanted to be proactive and make sure that we were out in front of this in terms of making sure our schools and our teachers and our students knew we were here, and that we weren't going to sit back during this and try and, hold back at all. So we came out of the gate right away, having meetings with our district superintendents, teachers, and asking how can we adjust in this moment in time to best serve you. And so for the first time, PEF did identify 2 funding focus areas. Typically, our grant program is across any academic focus area in math, science, language arts, physical education, etc. This time, because of the response from the educators, we did focus in on just funding social emotional learning programs and technology. And again, we adjusted our grant threshold in order to really spread it across all the campuses that we could touch, or at least make it available if should they need that. And we did 2 rounds instead of 1 this year. Early on, we did 1 in September, a second in November, again, because people were unprepared for what this would look like this year. And so we didn't want them to be limited, either going into the school year when they applied back in August, or once they started and realized the needs that became apparent that they weren't aware of. So we did that in October. And so for us, that was how we did as an organization. For Alphabet Soup, as an arm of our organization, we were shut from March till June. We opened June 10th. We reduced our schedule. We reduced our footprints in terms of shopping space for our donors and our clients. We also then installed a lot of PPE equipment and had to re-educate our shoppers and our donors and our employees on best practices to address the safety of all. It's always been a wonderful place and a pleasant shopping experience, but this COVID changed that in a lot of ways for retail. So we wanted to make sure we
Absolutely.
kept that same spirit alive down there. So that's how we as an organization did. And then we also did our big gala fundraiser virtually in the fall. So that was a little different for us,
Yeah.
but it was hugely successful because not only was it successful in terms of our fundraising, which we're incredibly grateful to the community for, it was also successful in bringing us all together in a time where we really couldn't be together. And we really were able to touch each other again in a way that engaged us in the mission of PEF. We were able to visit with fellow board members and alumni board members and longtime donors and new donors. So, you know, innovation comes out of challenge. And so we've definitely been challenged this year, but I'm very, very proud of how we've responded.
Yeah, it sounds like your organizations have been extremely proactive and creative, and it leaving a feeling of hope instead of, seeking something different. So that's really beautiful to hear. Um, and this question may or may not be relevant to you as we move into the next one, but any examples of success stories within the realm of solar from your organization or individuals that you work with?
You know, I wouldn't be able to speak to it in depth, but I can tell you the STEM programs that we're hearing about and that come across our grant program are incredibly impressive, and they're constantly advancing. So for us, we have seen some projects that included curriculum around building, solar mini cars and using solar and sustainability to create different projects within the classroom or on the campus that all ages could participate in. And, we've seen first and second grade through high school students showing and demonstrating to us what the STEM curriculum is. So from Lego building to B-bots to, all sorts of things. So I think it's just a wide open field at this point. So we're very excited to be able to support those programs.
Awesome. Yep. We are very excited to hear about that and to hear about how, in STEM that's being incorporated into schools in really unique and creative ways as well. So we have one more question, and I just want to say it's been such a pleasure speaking with you and hearing about PEF and all of the organizations and all of the efforts that you work with. Um, we are so excited to be partnered now and hopefully in many years to come as our organization grows. Is there anything else that you would like to share about yourself and your organization and the goals that you have for the community?
Sure. Well, and again, thank you for having me on this. I wish our whole team could be here, but we're all socially distancing as we continue our work. But we are a small but mighty group in terms of our staffing. And then we have an incredible board of community members who step up daily to help us achieve our goals and strategically plan for the future of PEF. And when we plan for our future, it means that we're trying to put things in place to continue on for generations of students to benefit from our programs. So it really is this community that created PEF all those years ago, have kept it, sustained it over all these years as well, and then are really helping us look to the future. So for us, I just say thank you to all those who contribute and who have a passion for education. And we are just proud to be able to be the vehicle in which you are able to apply your passion and your philanthropic, wants and needs so that we can really make education strong here so that we have a very capable workforce as we go forward. I mean, as we started this, we talked about our students today are the future leaders of our companies and our businesses next generation. So we have to teach them well and give them the wings so they can keep going forward.